Hey guys, Alex and Dad from Seventh Art Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time around we had Night Terrors. What was that one about?
That was like 2 weeks ago and I've completely forgotten it.
It's not the most memorable episode anyway. So the Doctor receives a house call on the psychic paper. There is a little boy in a apartment flat that he sees monsters. He sees monsters everywhere he looks at night. His parents don't know what to do. The Doctor comes in and they try to figure it out. Turns out monsters, they're real. It happens. Amy and Rory are transported inside of a dollhouse. Eventually, the Doctor and the kid's father are also transported in there. And what it turned out to be is that the kid is an alien. They're specifically a species of orphans who go and find foster parents and be exactly what they need, but things had gone wrong, and its alien powers had made monsters real. Eventually, the father fully accepted his son, and the day was saved, and they left.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, so that is pretty much where we left off. Yeah, and then we took a 2-week break. So, but it was Christmas, so we had every reason to take that 2-week break. So, that's pretty much it. Unless you got anything else.
I got nothing.
All right, these intros are just getting shorter by the day. These are more like my intros now, except they're still a bit more coherent than what I do normally.
I mean, I can still tell you the plot of The Almost People and The Good Man Goes to War and Let's Kill Hitler. Those were very memorable, but yeah, I was just going, Night Terrors, what was I couldn't figure, and I only vaguely now remember the story of basically, what did the Doctor say, an alien cuckoo, where they put a bird puts an egg in another bird's nest, so the second bird will raise it as its own.
This one might be a bit more memorable, I think. I'll fully remember what the general consensus is on this one, but I think it was good. So,
well, I mean, just the title, "The Girl Who Waited," goes all the way back to when the 11th Doctor met Amy as a young girl, said, "I'll be right back," and then it was like 10 years later, something like that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we might as well just get right into it.
Appalachia.
Say it again.
Appalachia.
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 Voted number 2 planet in the top 10 greatest destinations for the discerning intergalactic traveller.
Why couldn't we get to number 1?
Hideous. Everyone goes to number 1, planet of the coffee shops. Appalachia. I give you sunsets, spires, soaring silver colonnades.
You've got a new coat today.
Have you seen my phone?
Your phone?
Yeah.
Your mobile telephone. I bring you to a paradise planet 2 billion light years from Earth, and you want to update Twitter.
Sunset spires, soaring silver colonnades. It's a camera phone.
On the counter by the DVDs.
Thank you.
How do we get in?
I don't know. Push a button.
Hey, as well.
Yeah, push the button.
And of course, she'll push the red one.
No, that didn't work.
This is a kindness facility for those infected with Gen 7.
What? Gen 7? The one-day plague.
What, you get it for a day?
No, you get it. And you die in a day.
There are 40,000 residents in the
That's
Two
efficient.
Springs facility. Please remain in the sterile areas. Visiting hours are now.
Oh, and there it goes.
Gen 7 only affects two-hearted races like Appalachians.
And Time Lords.
Yeah, like me. Walk into that facility, I'm dead in a day.
Oh, good to know.
As fast your name is Amy, I'm taking the time glass back to the TARDIS. Like Satnav, I can use it to get a lock on you, then smash through using the TARDIS to get you out. Until then, you're on your own.
What are you doing?
Locking it onto Amy, small act of vandalism, no one will mind. That'll be the small act of vandalism alarm. Amy, I need you to go play the signal into the console. The TARDIS will follow it. Now then, I know
Jumper
you're
cables.
Why not try the Mountain Zone and explore Appalachia's famous Glassmere Mountains? Or try our roller coaster zone, authentically modeled on the famous warp speed death ride at Disneyland Clown. All that
No,
you
thank you.
wish for and
You have, like,
more is
books.
Through the departure gate.
I'm not from this world. Your medicine will kill me.
Statement rejected. Do not be alarmed. This is a kindness.
This is not the smartest AI in the universe.
Secondary delivery system engaged.
Oh god!
Makes you wonder where this was filmed. Because this is
Yeah.
not something I think they built in a studio.
No.
Unauthorized resident detected.
Like, I wonder if the upper level was just like an airport they emptied.
Yeah.
Was this your best idea?
No residents detected.
Apparently it was.
Focus on the positive. We locked onto Amy's time stream. Eyes front, soldier. Right, yes.
Venus de
sorry.
Milo.
Appalachian is
Disarming.
the great cultural scavengers, Rory. This gallery's a scrapbook of all their favourite places.
Bit of
La
Earth,
Gioconda.
bit of Alien, bit of whatever the hell that is.
Oozing purple stuff.
Eh. Wow. I like they clearly just went to a garden and then just CG'd a bunch of stuff in it.
It's beautiful. Okay.
No,
Do not be alarmed.
I'm alarmed.
This is a kindness.
Oh, good job.
You know, I watched just a couple of minutes of Infinity War the other day and constantly marvel at how different her Nebula is from Amy Pond.
Oh, yeah.
I think the time stream lock might be a bit wobbly.
No, please, please.
Duck.
Look. She's learned to fight.
40 years. Alone.
36 years. Thanks.
No, right. No, I mean, you look great.
Don't worry about him. Sit down, Rory.
Eh.
You named him after me.
You named the parrot Jack.
Eh.
So he's like your...
Pet. I disarmed it.
How? You disarmed it.
Literally.
Stergo.
Sorry, me. No, I'm coming with you.
Then try not to get killed. Or do. Whatever.
He's very good at it.
They look ridiculous.
That's what I told him. Still, anything beats a fez, eh? How can you have a door without a wall?
Don't do it.
Oh.
Oh. Holographic wallpaper. Oh, look.
Oh.
Rory.
Give him a sword too.
I've worked out a way to hijack the temple engines and use them to fold 2 points of Amy's timeline together. We're bringing her out of the then and into the now. Amy,
Right, those were words.
Wait a minute, it won't.
Another Amy will take my place. An Amy who never got trapped at 2 streams. An Amy who grew old with you. And she in 36 years won't be me.
But you'll die in here!
Not if you take me with you.
Okay. Hi. Actor concentration. You're carrying around a giant magnifying glass and trying to act like it's normal.
Yeah.
You know when sometimes you meet someone so beautiful and then you actually talk to them and 5 minutes later they're as dull as a brick. Then there's other people and you meet them and you think, not bad, they're okay. And they turn into something so beautiful. Rory's the most beautiful man I've ever met. You take me to, in the TARDIS.
Me too.
But that means to be two of you. Permanently. Forever.
And that way we both get to live.
Two Amy's together. Can that work?
I don't know. It's your marriage.
Eh,
The wife and the wife, right? Right.
it could work.
Okay, Amy, past Amy, stand by the door. Future Amy, you too. Future Amy, can I borrow your sonic screw? It's a probe.
It's a screwdriver.
Oh, you're back on the adventure.
Come on, Rory. It's hardly rocket science. It's just quantum physics.
Yes, right. Okay. Blue.
And Amy, start thinking the most important thought you have ever had. Hold it in your head and do not let it go. Lever one.
Macarena. Macarena.
She's doing the Macarena.
Macarena.
That is pretty important.
First kiss.
Ah,
Lever
there you
two,
go.
Rory.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is getting out of hand, and now there are two of them.
Hug her too.
Eh.
Right, just stop doing that.
How about Amy 1 speaks first?
Which one's Amy 1?
Well, you...
I am. No, I am.
Rock, paper, scissors? That won't work.
Do not be alarmed. This is a kindness.
With me.
Do not be alarmed. This is
Give him a sword. He's a centurion.
a kindness.
Amy.
Deactivate.
Kate Haler, year 10 hockey. For the shins.
Oh,
This is a
yeah.
kindness.
Where are you gonna live? Not with you, don't worry. I'll go travelling. Pop back for Christmas, maybe Easter.
Amy, you always say cooking Christmas dinner, you wish there were two of you. Can you unlock them?
Yeah, give me a minute and your cutest smile. That's the one.
Can you stop flirting with me? You're old enough to be my...
I've known you my whole life. How many games of doctors and nurses? Shh, don't get coy now.
This is some Barbara level warrior.
It is. Finally, a true successor. Get to the TARDIS. Oh, the Mona Lisa. Ah. It's probably the original too.
It's just an anesthetic. She'll be fine.
Yeah, but the other one.
I'm sorry. What are you doing? I lied to her, Rory. There can never be two Amy's in the TARDIS. The paradox are too massive. You can't leave her. She'll die. No, she'll never have existed. When we save our Amy, this future won't have happened. We take this Amy, we leave ours. There can only be one Amy in the TARDIS. Which one do you want? It's your choice.
It's not really fair.
You're turning me into you.
Please.
Since when can you see through the panels?
Yeah, when it's dramatically convenient.
You carried her.
Do not be alarmed. This
The
is a
lady
kindness.
in the tiger choice.
Did I ever tell you about this boy I met there? Who pretended to be in a band?
He lived 2,000 years without you.
Did you always know that?
I'll leave you to alone.
You alright? How are you feeling?
Where is she?
Alrighty. That is the end of the episode.
Again, the writing in the last 2 seasons, even in the dramatic stuff, there's always a place for humor, and I find that very refreshing, because sometimes, especially in science fiction, the drama can be overdone. So when you have that undercurrent of humor in it, it really makes it more relatable, more realistic.
God, so I have this same struggle in Yu-Gi-Oh, but I won't get into it. There's a whole debate in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, which we don't even have anymore. Those have ended, but there's a debate between should Yu-Gi-Oh be goofier or way more serious. I lean towards the goofier with some serious stuff because it's a show about a card game.
Yeah.
In the same way as like
on
this
motorcycles.
Yeah, that's the worst example because that was the serious ultra dark show and I hated it. But in a similar way to this, where it's like you can have dramatic moments, obviously, but it's also about a guy in a box going through time. You have to have the goofier stuff too.
Yeah.
So
now,
it needs a good balance.
I may have mentioned this before. 2 shows that I've directed, very serious shows. One of them was The Miracle Worker. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's the story of Helen Keller, caught I can't remember if it was measles or some kind of infectious disease as a very young girl, rendered her deaf and blind. This is down south. The parents, very wealthy people, hired a woman named Annie Sullivan from the north to come down and be Helen's tutor. And Helen was literally a wild child. Because she couldn't see or hear, they pretty much let her do anything she wanted. Annie Sullivan comes in and literally, I don't want to say beats her, but wrestles her and basically says, you're going to do everything I say, and I'm going to make you understand that you can no longer be the wild child. There's a scene where Helen sits down to dinner with the rest of the family. She's just eating off everybody's plates, and every time she reaches for somebody, Annie grabs her hand and puts it back and shows the napkin and how to use a fork. It ends up, the family leaves the room, and Annie and Helen literally just wrestle each other all over the room until Helen gives up. When Annie starts to go out, the parents come back in and it's like, what happened? Annie just looks at him and says, she folded her napkin. Then she looks around and goes, yes, the room is a mess, but she folded her napkin. And there's just a way that you can make that so that it's an extremely serious situation, but it had humor in it. The audience was relieved by that sort of thing. There's a British author, I can't remember his name right now, wrote a wonderful play called A Day in the Death of Joe Egg. And it's about a young girl, again, who has disabilities. She's in a wheelchair. And her parents literally make up stories about her and how she's living in the real world and she's doing all this stuff. And I did this, God, must have been 40 years ago. But one of the best reviews I've ever gotten as a director, the reviewer said, people who are laughing realize they don't have time to cry. So, I mean, it's just, that's the kind of writing that I'm seeing here. And not only that, it's the performances. I really didn't expect much of Arthur Darvill from where we started, but he's really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, again, having seen Karen Gillan in later stuff, I knew she was going to be good. And, of course, we've seen Matt Smith. So, it's just, this is a revelation to me to see the level of writing and the level of acting that's going on in this series.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very interesting episode too, because I don't remember if there was some specific reason, like maybe this was kind of an off episode for Matt Smith, but maybe it was because he's obviously relegated to the TARDIS through most of the episode. But it's an interesting way of doing that. That the Doctor can't just swoop in and save the day. It's all on Rory and Amy to try and fix all of this. Yeah. So,
and again, they didn't play it up, but not that I wish that they would have. But I mean, she said, I waited 36 years for you. He could have said, I waited 2,000 years for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing that it's not brought up. The only thing I can think is that it's just not in Roy's character
Yeah.
to do that, to sort of compare the
Yeah.
the trouble. And to be fair, when Amy finally woke up 2,000 years later, she was the same, and he was exactly the same, being an Auton, whereas she is noticeably older.
And speaking of which, the makeup there,
yes,
that was fantastic.
That is incredibly good older person makeup. So, and it's honestly really just in the face. Like, her hair is exactly the same, and she's got all the other bits and bobs on her.
But there was one shot of the two of them standing together there at the end. Older Amy was noticeably like an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches shorter. And yes, because she's got the armor on, she looked a little heavier.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you get older. I mean, I told you, when I got out of high school, I was about 6 foot. By the time I got out of college, I had grown like another 3 or 4 inches. But now I'm back down to 6'1". I'm 74 years old, and I'm starting to shrink. Now, granted, 6'1" is not shrinking that much, but for me, you're taller than I am.
Yeah.
Your brother's taller than both of us. So it does happen. We get older, we get a little rounder, we get a little shorter, we get a little more stooped. And it's just very subtle. And but that more than anything, and there's one really good close-up of older Amy's face where you could see the wrinkles under her eyes. And it was just well done, extremely well done.
Yeah, so that is the thing about heights is, when you're saying, it's like, well, I'm getting shorter, it's like, you're still 6'1", and it's like, if you go to, like, most East Asian countries, you're still going to tower, let alone me and anyone else taller than me. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. You also, it's interesting the way that they do the paradox, where it's like, well, this older version of Amy saw herself 36 years ago, talked to herself about all of this, and saw that she was not going to help her past self. But now, all of that is starting to change. And it's like, okay, well, how is this starting to change and everything? But then, just the fact that almost immediately, when they say, it's like, well, can it work? And we just have 2 Amy's in the same time. And the doctor says, well, yes, if we do, this thing and this thing, the TARDIS should be able to sustain the paradox. You kind of immediately know he has to be lying. Because there's no way that... Because it's like, well, the TARDIS can sustain the paradox. It's like, that's a lot of stress to put on the TARDIS, and it breaks the rules, So, so it's interesting. And then leaving that at the end, as the older Amy watches Rory take the younger one into the TARDIS, and just the gears start turning in her head to where, she should have, if she wanted to do that, she should have been running immediately. And you just see the doctor at the door, and it's just like, no, he cannot let her come back if they have the younger Amy. So it's interesting. And this whole, like, location was also very, very interesting. Yeah. Because in a sense, it's a hospital, and we've seen space hospitals in this show before. But just the difference, having is pretty much nobody there. There's just an interface and these handbots that are threatening, but only because they're trying to do their jobs. Like, it's not even really that bad. And I don't know. And it's also just an interesting concept of, you get to see these people, you get to watch their time stream. 24 hours gives you their entire life, and they just live out this one-day plague for, however many decades it takes for them to finally die. And it's like, granted, all this, time technology, and you can't find a cure to. I don't know about that, but...
And, it's not really a flaw, but now that you say that, you got thousands of people on this planet. Why are they not allowed to interact with each other? Why do they have to be in solitary confinement?
Yeah.
I realize that's what the story's about, but, you say, in a hospital, if you're contagious, yes, they'll put you in isolation. But you're not going to be there for 36 years in isolation.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to be moved to a ward or to a special place where everybody has the same problem that you have.
Yeah, it's strange because it's, Gen 7, it's the one-day plague, as he says, but that they stretch that one day out over many, many decades as you live out your life. But, yeah, why they don't have them just as a part of, they said there's 40,000 patients here, and yet they're all in their own separate time streams, which is crazy that they have to, they have these temporal engines that keep this up, and yet they just don't allow. You could just keep it as one time stream, and it would probably be a lot easier, but I don't know. But yeah, and especially too, because it's like, well, there's, you basically sit in this room for years and years, and you just watch your loved one for years over the course of 24 hours. But they also have all these entertainment facilities, like they have a garden, they have a movie theater, they have the glass mountains and stuff, and it's like, well, how do you see that part? And I don't know.
We actually have a range called the Glass Mountains here in Oklahoma. They're in the northwestern part of the state. They're not really glass, but they do have a lot of gypsum in them. So, and again, this is the way I used to explain it to my students. People say that like erosion causes the striations of gypsum to be exposed, and that when the sun is at the right angle, they sparkle. So they look like they're glass mountains. I've been out there many, many times. Your mother used to live in far western Oklahoma, so we've been out that way. I've probably been out there 2 or 3 dozen times, going past the Glass Mountains. Never once saw them sparkle. But can't argue with history.
Oh yeah. So, but I guess honestly, the intricacies of how this hospital work are really not important. What's important is Amy stays there for 36 years.
Yeah.
And we have the conflict of which Amy do we take. So yeah. You got anything else on this episode?
I got nothing.
So someone made a point that I think it was the "Let's Kill Hitler" reaction, where someone said, "Wow, it's under 30 minutes long," and I was like, "Yep, these are getting shorter by the episode." I mean, there's just not as. I don't want to say not as much to talk about, but I mean, well, first off, the intros are getting shorter. The intros are getting much shorter. And honestly, because it's like, that video was like 28 minutes. That's still a decently good length for a reaction video. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just, it's not quite as much to talk about with some of these episodes.
Well, normally we ramble about a whole lot of things that really have nothing to do with the channel.
Yeah.
And we're off from the theater at the moment, so there's nothing to talk about there. I did finish writing my play. I think I may have mentioned that. It's based on the Charles Dickens short story, The Story of the Goblins Who Stole a Sexton. I've sent it to the copyright office here in the United States. As soon as I get the copyright, I'll be shopping it around to publishers. So we'll go from there and talk about that if that ever happens.
Well, yeah, so... who knows? Maybe we could even just make that its own separate video. I released it released on the day that we're recording this, but by the time this goes up, it'll be a couple weeks ago. I made a video where I just talked about all the books and stuff that I read in 2025, and honestly, we could just do that as a video for you, just saying what you read. So I don't know. I have no idea what the response on that video was, because it literally went up 40 minutes at the time of recording this. So,
well, by the way, one of the things I got from Alex for Christmas was the novelization of The Crusades.
Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes.
It's a more modern printing, too.
Yeah,
I noticed.
That's a reprint, I think.
Yeah,
and I think I've mentioned this probably 5-6 years ago when we first started this. One of the actors in The Crusade, John Bay, is actually someone that I met. He was here in the United States. He was doing a one-man show on the life of Groucho Marx. And we booked him into our theater, and I basically was his personal secretary for the 48 hours that he was here in Oklahoma City. Wonderfully charming man. I really enjoyed him. And did not realize until years later that I had seen him back in 63 or 64. I guess it would have been 64 when that came out, or 65. And then so I decided, hey, I'll go look him up. And it turns out he literally died about a year after I met him, which was really kind of sad. He died in like 86 or 87. It would have been 83 or 84, somewhere around there. So anyway, a wonderful young man. Well, he was probably middle-aged by that point. But I really enjoyed him. He was a great guy.
Oh, yeah. And I will say, next episode, I think we will have a few more things to talk about, because the next string of 6 or 7 episodes, I had a little bit of a back and forth with the comments section about, not because like I didn't like the episodes or anything. I think all of them are really good. It's just it's hard to explain, but I suppose I had a slight misunderstanding, and I don't know, it generated an interesting discussion about the next episodes. We've got 3 more episodes left in this season. Then we've got a Christmas special, and then some more episodes after that, obviously. And it will be interesting. I may even need to rewatch my old episodes just to make sure I remember what points I made about it, because this is probably 5 or 6 years ago now that I watched these. But I will have some interesting things to talk about with these.
No. Just, you can say, you don't have to say you're gaslighting me or anything, but do we circle back around to the impossible astronaut story?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Because that is still a major thing with this season, is the Doctor's death. So we will get to that at the end of the season. So, and we're pretty close. We're pretty close to that. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
I got nothing.
Then, with all of that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our modern Doctor Who reactions, as well as another playlist for every Doctor Who video that's on the channel. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.